Hi, my name is Wendy Ann Clark, and this is my channel Transformation, where I talk about how God desires that you would be transformed into the image of Jesus by the power of the Holy Spirit. And my goal here is to bring a short daily reflection that I hope will encourage you to continue daily pursuing the person of Jesus, that you'd be changed over time. What I want to talk about today is we are ultimately shaped by what we allow our minds to feed on. And Johnny Erickson Tada, in her book, The Practice of the Presence of Jesus, writes this: we are ultimately shaped by what we allow our minds to feed on. When you are alone, be aware that indulgent, self-centered thinking will ultimately determine the future you. In those secret places, partner with the Holy Spirit and elevate your thoughts toward God and what pleases Him. Cultivate an everyday righteousness so that your right thinking shapes you into who God wants you to be. The next time you are alone and struggling, please be transformed by the renewing of your mind, as the Apostle Paul says in Romans 12:2. Take every thought captive. Be intentional in your thinking. That is, think about what you're thinking about. Don't just allow thoughts to just swirl around in there. Take every wayward, sinful thought to the cross and put it to death. No, no, no. I'm not going to think that. No. Surrender. Surrender, surrender, surrender. Make a point today of paying attention to the thoughts that swirl around in your mind. Some that you might notice and kick out. Judgmental thoughts where you're like condemning and criticizing in your mind other people. Even if you don't say it out loud, you might judge in your mind. Prideful thoughts. You're all that. You're so sure of it. Impure thoughts. Stingy thoughts, selfish thoughts, self-pitying thoughts. I remember one woman talking about how she'd been talking about how self-pity is not good and it's not of God. And then she made dinner for her whole family and then found out nobody was going to be home that night. Everybody was busy, and she was thinking, but I went to all this work and it was so hard and I spent all, it's just like self-pitying thoughts. We can fall into them. Complaining thoughts. Oh, the children of Israel in the desert, they complained and it got them into a lot of trouble. And some of them, God just wiped them out. Enough said. No complaining. Anxious thoughts, limiting thoughts, hopeless thoughts. Pay attention to what you're thinking about and take control and notice if this is untrue, that is not true. I'm not going to believe that. I had this weird experience, and I would say it's weird because it's very unusual for me. But when we first left California and moved to Idaho to get into ministry, and there were so many hard things in the beginning, it was very struggling. And my husband was one day just being really critical of me in some way. And I had a lot of self-pitying thoughts. Oh, I've done all this, done all that, And I went into another room and I was, I don't know, baking or something. And these thoughts were in my head. I could just go back to California. I could take my youngest daughter. He can stay here and do whatever he wants to do. I could go back to teaching at the college. I could get my life back. And then I said, no. And I laughed at myself. That is not God's thoughts for me. No. I'm not going to do that. Why would I want to do that? That would take my whole life. That's just stupid. Those are stupid thoughts and they're sinful thoughts, and that's not God's thoughts for me. And no. But that's what you have to do. You have to recognize what you're thinking and however those thoughts got there. It doesn't matter. You have to recognize when they're not true, when they're sinful. You have to kick them out. You have to say no. And you have to surrender to what is true and what God has for you. I hope I've given you something to think about today. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Hit like if you like it. Share it if you think somebody else might like it. Hit subscribe if you just want to help me out on YouTube, and hit that notification bell if you want to be notified when I post new content. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.